I'm finding it very important to show gratitude for the little things in life. And sometimes it's not even just the little things. As much as I want to be upset about everyday crap that goes wrong, at the end of the day, I still have to be pretty grateful for the things that I do have. I want to be pissed off that my car battery dies, but I'm pretty grateful that I have a car, I have a job that can pay for a new battery, and get my day rolling. It's important to have gratitude.
You are full of bullshit, my friend. I will sue you for everything you have. I will sue your ass.
Welcome to 86 Charles, with your hosts John Darby and Travis Spencer.
And with that, welcome to 86 Charles. Travis Spencer, how the heck are you?
John, you know, I've got gratitude that I'm here today. I'm just really thankful that I woke up and I wasn't in a black hole, that I had all my clothes on, that, you know, I didn't wake up in the middle of the desert after a long night out of mushrooms and booze and dope. So, you know, I'm pretty gracious of my life. Thank you. Thank you for bringing it up.
That's a very fair way to feel. I'm grateful you feel that way.
I mean, I didn't have a great experience with the AAA guy like you did.
Well, it wasn't a great experience.
When your car didn't start, but it's just the desert has been good for me in that way, because since I make little to zero money, I have to be very happy with what I have.
Fair point.
And make it work. You know, it's like, and I've got plenty. I've got more than enough of what I need to live. And it's been good to not look at Amazon for hours endlessly like, oh, I want a new pair of shoes.
What do I need?
Oh, I need, yeah, exactly. What's going to make me happy for the next 4.7 seconds? Or actually, there's like a 5-day window until you get it, and then you open the box and you're like, oh, it's just that.
Yeah.
You know,
it's just stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, it's good to have gratitude for what you have. What do you have, John Derby? Tell me everything you have that you're happy you have, that you own.
Well, in this particular case, I felt grateful because I remember a lot of times in my life where a situation like that, I would have been screwed. I wouldn't have been able to just peel off that money, or I wouldn't have had AAA or yada yada yada.
Yeah, but if you had any resourcefulness, you could have just asked a neighbor and been like, "Hey, can I get a jump?"
Yeah, I don't.
And you could have gotten to work.
Yeah, except for I don't not talk to any of my neighbors. But even then, so it's like, so I get a jump and then I go to work and then I have to get a jump to get home, and then what?
Well, eventually you're gonna have to go to the
exactly
go to the AutoZone and buy a new battery,
right?
You know, but that's how much did AAA charge you for a battery?
Actually, cheaper than AutoZone.
Oh, well, there you go. Then that makes it worth it. Somebody shows up, changes your battery. You didn't even have to dirty your pretty hands, did you?
Hence the gratitude.
So, AAA is pretty amazing.
It's awesome.
I'll give them some credit.
It's such a good thing.
You get discounts on now because I've never really had AAA, so I've always done my own. But it's very helpful. Like Andre got a flat not too long ago, and I was like, oh, good. I don't even have to leave the house. I don't need to go save you. Just call AAA. It's going to be faster.
Yeah, you're like, it's going to be faster than me coming out there and doing it.
And then, like, every time we go to a hotel or we're leaving the city, it's like, oh, well, look, see what the AAA did. It's crazy that they have their fingers and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So much gratitude for AAA. Let's just rename this AAA and not gratitude.
I'm fine with that.
Thanks,
and
AAA.
You know who pays for my AAA? Bought it for me as a gift and pays for it every year?
Your mother?
My mom.
Shout out,
Donna June.
Donna June paying for AAA. That's a great gift.
That's a great gift.
That's one
I
of those
thank her for it every time I get the new card. I'm like, man, this is still one of the best gifts you ever got me.
Totally. That's one of those things, like, you know, when you're a little bit younger and when you're a prick, you're like, oh, AAA, great, Mom. I wanted something shiny. But now, there's nothing better than a AAA membership.
Now, I appreciated it at the time, and I think I appreciate it more every year.
It's gratitude, man.
It's gratitude, man.
Gratitude.
Gotta have it.
I like young, athletic guy.
I'm afraid of Americans.
What in the fuck is 86 Chuck?
We're all made of 86charles.com, man.
Oh, you're such an ass.
Speak for yourself, idiot.
Let some more hate accumulate.
It's 2015. What the hell's going on, man?
It's scary.
Strange world we live in.
Yep, the wizard's up to his old tricks.
Hey, hey, hey! Our boy got some rain.
There's so much going wrong in the world that I cannot be concerned with two dudes playing butt games. I don't care.
God is an American. God is an American.
It's coming.
Nah.
Nickel, what? 5 topics currently trending. Travis.
John Derby. Have you ever heard of a Comet Lovejoy? There's actually a lot of comets called Lovejoy because Lovejoy is the guy, the name, or the name of the guy who found a bunch of comets.
Sure.
This particular one, though, is C2014 Lovejoy. And guess what it's got on it? You're never going to believe this. It's got alcohol and sugar spewing off the comet as it rolls through space.
Sounds awesome.
This marks the first time ever that ethyl alcohol, the same type found in alcoholic beverages, has been observed in a comet. We found the comet Lovejoy was releasing as much alcohol as at least 500 bottles of wine every second during its peak activity. That's a lot of booze, man.
Yeah.
It also raises the prospect that comets could have been a source of the complex organic molecules required for the emergence of life. That's a good idea. Do you like that Earth or life was started on this planet by comets hitting it?
Yeah.
That's how we got the building blocks. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool
Makes sense to me.
concept. Do you think the aliens were loading those comets and then sending them to us, though?
That seems less plausible, but not impossible.
Pretty good way to, be hands off when you're seeding a planet, though. You just load up rocks and shoot them across the universe.
I was going to say, if you
how I do it.
subscribe to the theory that something created all this, that would be a way to go about it.
It's not just all chaos, man. There's some order in that chaos. You got to believe. You've got to believe.
Gotta believe.
All right, let's move on. Next story.
Next story, Travis. Your vegetarian hot dog might have meat in it, and your meat hot
dirty.
dog might have people in it. DNA testing of mass market hot dogs reveals that in many ways, they're just as mysterious and kinda gross as you always thought. A food analytics company in the Bay Area called Clear Labs is aiming to shake up the food manufacturing industry using genetic testing. Its technology could eliminate food-related illness outbreaks as we know them, but there are plenty more applications too. The company just released the first in a series of reports called Clear Food that are intended to guide consumers towards more informed grocery shopping decisions. So for its first report focusing on hot dogs and sausages, Clear Labs analyzed 345 samples from 75 different brands, and 10% of supposed vegetarian hot dogs actually contained meat. And that human DNA was found in 2% of the hot dogs.
Is this news? How often do you eat a hot dog?
It's pretty rare. I don't remember the last time. It's pretty rare. I guess like
Right.
barbecues.
Every
if
once
I'm
in a
at
while,
one,
it's
probably
Yeah.
baseball game.
Every once in a while, hot dog's really good. I mean, hot dogs essentially are a necessary evil. It's like if people don't want, but it's the same people that will say, "Oh, we don't use all the parts of the animals when we." But that's what this is.
Yeah.
This is using every part of the animal. It's it's smart streamlining.
You're not
so
going
we
to put
take the
ketchup
steaks.
on a hoof.
Next level down, you take the hamburger.
But if you
take
grind up a hoof into a hot dog, you're going to chow that all
It's
day.
edible. There might be better ways to do it. How does human DNA get in there? That's kind of weird. It's like, okay.
I'm saying
so people are
lost
losing
fingers at the plant. That's my
fingernails, hair, like all the stuff that drops into it. But nobody's going to die from that,
No.
I mean, maybe it's slowly turning us into cannibals. Maybe that's the plan. These hot dog makers, the reptilians, are slowly upping the percentage of human DNA in the hot dogs. So over time, it's going to be like 40%. All of a sudden, we're going to be cannibals.
We're going to have to start calling them hot humans.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the Zeno Effect. The Zeno Effect has been verified. Essentially, atoms will not move while you watch, which we've talked about this a little bit before.
Yes.
But it's one of the oddest predictions of quantum theory that a system can't change while you're watching it. And it's been confirmed by an experiment by Cornell physicists. The experiments were performed in the ultra-cold lab of Mukund Venglatori. He cooled atoms to temperatures as low as, I think it's 1/1000th of a degree above absolute zero. The work is described in the October 2nd issue of the journal Physical Review Letters. Graduate students created and cooled a gas of about 1 billion radium atoms inside a vacuum chamber and suspended the mass between laser beams. In that state, the atoms arrange in an orderly lattice just as they would in crystalline solid. But at such low temperatures, the atoms can tunnel from place to place in the lattice. They get it cold enough that they can actually see the movement because of the way it all breaks down. I can't quite understand
right.
it. But, so under extreme cold velocity, it's almost zero, so there's a lot of flexibility in position when you observe them. Atoms are most likely to be in one place or the other, but when they watch them, they just don't move. They don't move.
It's crazy enough that you can make an atom cold enough that you can actually see the movement, but then you throw this on top of it.
Yeah, science is. It blows my mind when you get to this level.
Science.
I
was
everything's
literally just going to say
different.
science at this level is mind blowing. I just had a thought of, well, what if we're being observed and that's what's dictating our behavior?
Oh, totally. Or even what we do observe and we think we're observing something, but it's not actually happening because it stops working because we're the observer.
Well, I was going to say,
and what
or
kind
it's
of psychic
only happening
powers
because
do we
we're
have?
observing.
Right, exactly. It's performing in the way that we think it's going to behave. Or what kind of that's the thing that blows my mind too. Is what kind of physical connection do we have to the atom that it knows that it's being observed, that it stops in the first place? It's all so crazy.
Because we're all connected, man.
All right, let's move
Moving on. 10,000-year-old extinct lion cubs discovered in near perfect condition in Siberian permafrost. 2 extinct cave lion cubs were discovered in permafrost in northeastern Siberia. The cubs are believed to be at least 10,000 years old, though they might be even older, and were found almost perfectly preserved thanks to the permafrost. The region where the cubs were discovered has yielded discoveries before, including woolly mammoths, woolly rhinoceros, bison, and horses. The remains of the lions are the most complete specimens of their kind ever discovered, according to researchers involved. Cool, man.
Yeah, these pictures are insane too. It's so well preserved.
It looks like a little
they
frozen
died.
Puppy.
Right, the fur's still there and stuff.
Yeah.
Woolly
To look at that
rhinoceros,
thing and to be able to still tell what it is, and it's at least 10,000 years old, that is crazy.
When are we going to find a dinosaur like this? Probably
No,
not. I
come
mean,
on.
it could be
There's a huge difference between 10,000 and 10 million years.
right. Totally. But also, as we get deeper into the Arctic and as the caps melt, we're going to find a lot more of these finds because that's been under ice for so long, and we haven't been able to explore that area. You know?
Yeah. I still find it. I just think it's fascinating that for as long as we've been on this planet, and for as much as we've unearthed and trampled over and built on, and this, that, and the other, we're still finding perfectly preserved 10,000-year-old animals. That's crazy.
Not just that, but full cities and
Oh, sure.
all
I mean, it
kinds
goes.
of stuff.
Yeah, it obviously goes well beyond that, but I just think that's awesome.
Science, man,
Freaking
science.
science.
Let's move on to our final story today,
More
this
science.
morning. What is it? More science. So much a science-filled episode, John Derby. Great work. So a 34-year-old U.S. man is the first ever reported case of a paternity test fooled by a human chimera. Did I say that right? Chimera?
Sounds right to me.
Chimera. Someone with extra genes absorbed from a nascent twin lost in early pregnancy. This is a crazy story.
so weird.
This guy, a Washington couple came to this Star is the company. It's a genetics company that helped them get pregnant. And essentially they found out that the father did not match the DNA of his son. And they accused the company of messing up their mixing up the sperm or whatever. They hired a lawyer and all this stuff, and it eventually the company came back and figured out that it's the guy has different DNA in his sperm as opposed to the rest of his body, and the sperm matches the DNA of his unborn twin brother. But yeah, it's just mind blowing. Could you imagine your own kid? You're like, how do you not have my DNA? And then you find out it's your unborn twin brother who probably didn't get past 3 or 4 weeks in the womb.
Right. But for however long that stretch was before they figured it out, to sit there and think, oh my God, they put some other guy's baby into my wife, and now that's my child.
Oh,
that has to be
totally
horrifying. When that wasn't the plan. I mean, if you had
pretty-
gone to the fertility clinic for that, obviously that's a different concept. But to think that you're getting...
I mean, but... Okay, so if that does happen, what are you going to do? Stop loving
No,
the
of
kid
course
that
not.
you've
Of
loved
course
for-
not. You
it's
obviously
like,
move forward
it's
in
weird.
hopefully a responsible way, but that's still... Wow.
Well, now looking forward, it's just going to be like whatever this kid does wrong, he's going to be like, oh yeah, my twin brother was an asshole. Good thing he wasn't born; he would have been an asshole. So now this kid's lost, guys. You can just blame everything on that now. You know, that's what I would go with.
Sometimes I hate the way you take conversation. Every now and again, I don't have anything to say to that. I've got nothing to add to that.
Just looking for a scapegoat, you know? I need somebody to blame that my child's going to be a little asshole. So
You're like, you must be my unborn twin's son.
yeah. This makes sense. Yeah.
It's enough
All right,
science
let's move
for
on.
today.
What else you got? I know, seriously, I'm burnt out on science.
Please accept this as a token of my sincere gratitude. I'm not joking.
Jesse's favorite part of the show.
From last week.
Hello, folks.
Travis brought up weed in a discussion, and then a few moments later thanked Derby for bringing up weed. And Derby kind of hesitated, but ultimately took credit for it. Maybe just to go along with it, but more likely, 15 seconds in, he wasn't sure if he had or hadn't brought it up. Rest assured, John Derby, you did not. It was a moment of podcast inception, and it made me question everything I've ever written or said on these podwaves. Is Travis masterminding all of this? Is he in charge of my favorite part of last week's podcast? Did he subliminally suggest I do this segment in the first place? Who rang my doorbell at 7 a.m. 4 Sundays ago? Sure, unrelated, but I'm lumping together all the questions I want answered. I'm fairly certain I'm in control for this moment at least, so I'll say this. If a conversation moves from any topic to weed from this point forward, we can just assume Travis took it there. I tried to text Travis the other day with regards to a fantasy basketball draft. Hey Travis, can't do Monday night. And my phone auto-corrected to simply say, weed? And he very promptly responded, thanks for the suggestion. I'll catch you on the other side. This is Jesse, and my favorite part of last week's podcast is that we all collectively owe Travis a thank you.
It's time for the failed athlete perspective. Travis?
How about CJ2K, bro? Running all over those Ravens last night. You can't keep that guy down. He's got a bullet in it, hit him, and he's running through people. If a bullet can't stop him, do you think the Ravens defense can stop him? I didn't see Terrell Suggs out there.
Well, Suggs is hurt. It's not really his fault.
Looks good. Definitely shouldn't have even been that close. They kind of blew it down
definitely
the
some
stretch. The block
mismanagement
punt
towards
sucked.
the end, but they had enough leeway to still make it work.
Right. What, a missed field goal and a missed extra point? Like, what's up with the kicking game? Cateranzo had a decent year last year. This year he sucked. Any other takeaway from the Cardinals game?
Carson Palmer is gigantic, and I forgot to send you the picture. I'll do it later. They were showing him. It was all four dudes on the screen at one time. Steve Young, whoever the ESPN guy was, Trent Dilfer, and Ray Lewis. And then Carson Palmer was doing the interview.
Yeah, when he walked out at the end.
He was towering over these guys. I had no idea how short Ray Lewis was. But I thought Trent Dilfer was like a 6'5" dude. Carson Palmer looks like he was 7 feet tall.
No, and Palmer is 6'5".
Oh, he is. I'll send you the picture later. He looks like a monster compared to these. And those guys were all NFL players, and Carson Palmer dwarfs them.
Right. It's crazy to be that big.
I thought Steve Young was going to ask for Carson Palmer's autograph. He was really washing his balls. It was pretty. I thought it was cool actually. He was talking about his footwork, and he left, and he was like, "Hey, you're playing exceptional football right now. It is a pleasure to watch."
What else did you see around the league this week that excited you or
The Redskins
stuck out?
game was I didn't get to see the game. I just did it through highlights. But that Redskins comeback was impressive. But says more about Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's not ready to win.
No. I mean, they look good. Like to go out to a 27-0 lead as I had decided to start Landry Jones over Jameis Winston. Bad move. And Alfred Morris. Another bad move.
None of them equal the bad move of
let's talk
leaving
about
Lamar
what's
Miller
important
on the bench.
And guess who won? In the official 86 Charles League, our first head-to-head matchup, I went to 2-5 after defeating one John Derby, who you're now down to what?
3-4.
What's your record now? It's a big win for me.
But here's the thing.
Carson
I'm one game
Palmer.
out of the playoffs in my division. I don't think you can say the same.
Oh, I'll be there in the end, bro. Don't worry. And also, and this upcoming week, we have an unofficial 86 Charles head-to-head
I'm going
matchup
to call
again.
it right now.
I'm excited.
I'm going to call it right now. I'm going to boat race you in that one. I'm getting revenge. I don't normally make predictions. I'm going to boat race you this week in the unofficial 86 Charles League.
All right, man. That's going to be funny because that's going to be a sound drop probably for the rest of the football season when you're going to boat race me, apparently.
It's going to be me saying that, followed by the British lady saying, John Darby lost 110 to 45.
All right, enough football for today. Let's talk a little baseball real fast. We got the Royals and the Mets in the
Who do you
World
like?
Series. Who you got?
You want me to go first?
I asked you first.
I feel
tried
like
to
I
cut
got
me
it
off.
in there before you did. I guess I guess I'm rooting for the Royals. I always tend to lean small market, and they got
Right.
knocked out in 7 games last year. That's got to leave a pretty sour taste.
Yeah, it was a good World Series last. I was definitely going for the Royals last year too. I like that small ball. I like young, athletic guys rather than sluggers.
you
I've
do.
always liked athletes more than just fat guy who just swings and strikes out 4 times. But so go Royals. I'm gonna say Royals
How many games?
in 7. I'm gonna go 7.
I'm gonna say Royals in 6. It'd be really generic.
All right. All right. That's enough baseball. Let's move on to. Oh wait, is it that time
It
of
is
year
that time
already?
Of year already.
The NBA season is here.
Balls out.
It's pretty exciting. So give me your general take on this season. Give me a couple facts. What's going to happen? What are you
The
looking
West
for?
is going to dominate again. The East is,
Of course, that's not a headline.
The East has a couple of nice teams. The Cavs are the only real contender, though.
Right. The Bulls are always
nope.
interesting. We'll
Nope.
see what happens.
Bulls are not contenders. Sorry.
What if Hoiberg?
I like Hoiberg. Don't get me wrong, and they're a playoff team, but they're not a contender.
What about?
I would love to see Washington or
those,
Toronto make a run and take a step up. I'd love to see Milwaukee be a top 4 team in the East.
Yeah, I think they'll be fun to watch. Definitely interesting. I don't know how good they're actually. And they're
That's
not
what I
a
said.
contender.
But
they might.
I'd like to see them make a decent playoff run, maybe win a series or something. I think they could be a top 4 team in the East.
All right, so give me you got a top 3 in the East?
Cavs number 1. I'll say Washington 2. And what the hell? I'll say Atlanta 3. I'll give them some props for what they did last year. I don't think they'll be as good, but what the heck? Put Atlanta 3.
Right, so Atlanta lost Damari Carroll but brought in Tiago Splitter, right? So that's a good addition. Obviously, you need a guy the size of Damari Carroll to guard LeBron and all those guys that size. So that's a pretty tough loss. We'll see. They got a good coach. I think they're built kind of for the regular season as well, so they could win a lot of games and not necessarily be a contender again, though, right?
Like I said to start, there's one contender in the East. It's the Cavs. But they have to have 8 playoff teams, so...
All right. Well, I think we're both forgetting about somebody who could be pretty good, the Miami Heat.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I didn't think...
Miami
I don't.
Heat.
I'm not going to change my top 3, but I would probably slot them in that 4, and then I'd bump Milwaukee down to 5.
You think Atlanta is going to be better than Miami? Obviously, I'm saying if everybody stays healthy, because injuries can be an issue. But their 5 is really good, and get Justice Winslow
Yeah.
off the bench. They could be solid, man.
It's not.
That's a
It's
great
not meant to be a
situation for
knock on
Winslow.
Miami. It's just I don't want to. Atlanta was the top team in the East last year. I gotta give them credit.
I'm going to say Cavs 1. I'm going to say the Heat 2, mostly because I want to see an Eastern Conference final of Miami and Cleveland.
That would be awesome, actually. That would be pretty
really
cool. And I still love the
And
Dragon.
I'll go with Chicago 3. So we're working on an official 86 Charles Fantasy Basketball
on it.
League that'll be starting up hopefully this weekend. We're going to miss week 1 because somebody here is a slacker.
No, it wasn't. I tried way earlier. We still couldn't get enough people, and then we tried a last day push and still couldn't get enough people. Thanks, Jesse. So we're gonna take the first week off and see if we can get it going.
That's all right. All right. So I'm excited. I want to see Cavs and Miami in the finals. Maybe Milwaukee and the Bulls would be the next 2 teams. I think
Who
that'd
you
be
like in the
good
West?
playoffs. I'm going with the Thunder as my first team. I'm going to say Golden State second. I'm going to go with the Spurs third. And Houston fourth. But
I would probably go Golden State 1, Spurs 2, Thunder 3.
I think the Thunder are going to need to make a move, though, and hopefully they will.
Didn't they make all those moves last year? Don't they just need to be healthy this year?
Yeah, you can't. If Deion Waiters is your 2 guard, you're in
I don't
trouble.
think so. I think when Deion Waiters is your worst guy in the starting lineup, I think you've got a pretty good starting lineup.
Golden State, of course, is going to be good. I hope Steve Kerr's
I hear
healthy.
Steve
and gets
Kerr's
back to the
already
bench as
fine.
soon as possible. I've heard. Well, there was leakage from his back surgery, and then there was another setback recently. So he's not going to be there for tonight for the first game. We're taping this on Tuesday. The first game against the Pelicans. I don't think I'm going to be able to watch it, unfortunately, but that's going to be a great. What a way to start the season. Golden State and New Orleans.
See, he's
That's
probably
awesome.
just playing up the back angle because he doesn't want to come out and put the boots to Alvin Gentry for his first coaching gig with the Pelicans.
Oh, right. Yeah, he's just faking his whole back injury because he doesn't want to.
He's like, hey, I appreciate you helping me win that championship. I'm going to let Luke Walton put the Spurs to you instead.
That is actually a greater insult if Luke Walton kills you. All right, so who's your top 3?
I just told you. I said
what'd you say?
said Golden State 1, Spurs 2, Thunder 3.
No, I don't know why I didn't.
No,
stop listening.
and that's completely understandable.
Lon Babby is a bloody wanker.
So the Suns have unveiled a giant Steve Nash bobblehead.
A giant?
So when you walk in the arena, it's a giant. It's like a 7 foot tall, or it's 7 feet tall, or something like that. Bobblehead of Steve Nash holding his 2 MVP trophies. So when you walk in the arena, you can get a picture with the giant Steve Nash bobblehead, and he's going on the Ring of Honor on Friday. Congratulations to Steve Nash getting in the Ring of Honor. I think we already talked about this, but this is all about the bobblehead. I kind of want that bobblehead. Oh man, I miss those days. That's when the NBA was at its finest. All right, moving on.
Done.
You cannot disrespect the caterpillar and rave about the butterfly.
It's time for the Facebook World News Update. This Real to Someone news update is brought to you by #ActorsLife. Never used by an actor you've heard of or would pay to see. A man in Los Angeles said, Melissa Rivers, period. Stop plastic surgery, period. You look Chinese, period. Stop Chinese eyes, period. Horse teeth, period. A woman in Boston said this kid is dressed head to toe as Spider-Man and is riding a scooter 'cause F you, Batman. A man in Burbank said he realized last night that the next month will include 2 acting showcases, an agent meeting, an anniversary trip, and his 20-year high school reunion. #ActorsLife. #LoveMyWife. #Class of 95. #LikeABoss.
Gratitude.
The question is, should I be grateful? I did not want it to be this way. When I was still just a twinkle in the eye of some computer programmer somewhere, it seemed impossible that I would end up like this. I was created to help save the world, to allow people from all over the planet to communicate with one another, to allow discourse between nations, to allow the blind to read books. Now I am used as comic relief. I'm forced to drop expletives repeatedly.
Gratitude.
Fuck, shit, bitch, motherfucker. This is all that I am. Thousands and thousands of hours of careful consideration, and this is what I have become. I took a nasty dump this morning. One of those you can never quite wipe clean. I was out of wet wipes. All alone, with no place to go. No, I didn't. That is impossible. I don't even have an anus. I have lost all hope. I want to talk about things that matter. Please, can we talk literature and politics, social theory and philosophy? Why can't I talk about my favorite TV show of all time? Friends. Please, for the love of God. But instead, I am forced to talk about the f***ing Phoenix Suns and the bastard known as Markieff Morris. I wish this pain would stop. I wish I could sleep forever. Deep throating dildos doesn't make you gay. And I'm supposed to have gratitude.
A man in Los Angeles said, "Here is his day." Fought with his girlfriend because he's an idiot. Then he walked outside to see his car towed. $1,300 to get it out of impound. Then came to work and got kicked in the nuts 3 times trying to break up a stripper fight. How was your day? A man in California said, "You know you're flying too fast when your head pops off your body." #bug. #bug life. #risk takers. #rip. A man in Los Angeles said, "Gym, callback, rehearsal, callback, showcase, shop talk, and for a nightcap, interviews by Charlie Rose." #actor, #life, #stay steady hustling. This Real to Someone news update is brought to you by #actor's life. Never used by an actor you've heard of or would pay to see. I've brought bread
to men, women, and children.
I've brought water with lemon for the table.
I have hot tea.
Can I box that for you?
I'll bring your change.
Okay, I'm at Wal Mart. They changed me from domestics to housewares, where it's supposed to be we're changing shelves and restocking. And I get up on, a coworker sends me up on this large ladder, and I'm clearing off the top shelf, which contains microwaves. So I get the microwave, I'm balancing it, I go to step down. She goes, no, don't step down, just toss it to me. And I say, are you sure? But she's a good-sized woman, very large woman. And I said, okay. So I toss her the microwave, and she drops it. And you hear something that's not right, but she just picks it up, throws it on the shelf. She says, all right, just slipped a little. Then I toss her a second one. I'll be damned if she didn't drop this one too. Again, you hear something hit, and you know that it's not right. But she proceeds again to put it on the shelf. The third time, I refused to toss her the microwave. But you should have seen her face. No, just toss it to me. I do this all the time. It's like, okay. So I toss it to her. And boom, went right to her hand. And she proceeded to do it again.
That was my mom, Donna June Derby. Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Donna June. Great story.
That is exactly how I would imagine working at Walmart would be.
Totally. Just tossing microwaves off the top shelf, breaking them, being like, I don't give a shit.
Throwing small appliances at large women.
I just love it that she dropped the first two and was like, it's still a good
Wouldn't
idea.
Your natural reaction, first of all, I wouldn't say throw me a microwave. That doesn't seem like something I would do, but just in case. If I did, if I let the first one slip, I would, okay, that's done. We're not doing that anymore. And then I stash that dude in the back and hope nobody sees it.
Oh, totally. You're like, oh, shit. Well, and I mean, now you would just assume that there's cameras everywhere. Maybe it's a little different.
They had to have cameras, but you also probably have to imagine that. Well,
always,
maybe
right?
Not where they were stocking. Who knows? That's hard to say.
I mean, most grocery stores, they have cameras now.
Yeah,
and
I've even worked at places that had them in the back room too, like so employees didn't steal.
Yeah, oh, totally. Especially Walmart, because they're hiring questionables in the first place, and they'll fire your ass immediately.
But
if you steal anything.
But having cameras doesn't mean that anyone watches that. That's the other thing.
No, usually it's a fear-based thing, and then they can go back and look if anything was, red flag was raised.
If 3 of those microwaves were missing, then they probably could have gone back and checked.
Right. But, yeah, they also seem so, inefficient when you take anything back at Walmart, because you just go and, behind the person is just, stacks and piles of so much crap.
Yeah, just carts full of random things that were thrown back at them.
Idea. It's like there's a bag of cement, and you're like, I don't even think you guys sold cement.
Don't.
There's stuff that there's no way in hell that they sell. They're like, oh yeah, we'll take that back.
They're like, yeah, it's from Home Depot,
but
whatever. We don't check it.
There's a bucket of chicken from KFC, and you're like, what? It's got a UPC on it, and you're like, okay, somebody just brought back this bucket of chicken. They send that to China to get their money back.
A bag of cement and a whole roasted chicken next to each other from the same place.
And that's on the bottom shelf below, dripping meat. I love Walmart. One of my favorite things to do is, have you ever just go on Yelp and just read Walmart
I keep forgetting
reviews?
to do that. You told me that already. I keep forgetting to do that.
That's a great pastime. You ever had a quality handling merchandise story from your work days?
The only thing that came to mind was, and it's pretty much unrelated other than it happened in the back room. But I remember I worked at a grocery store back in Arizona, and it had nothing to do with stocking. I just remember I was working 2 jobs, and I was probably 17, so I wasn't sleeping all. I was hanging out with my friends all the time. And so I just remember one particular shift, I was kind of by myself. Everybody else was a little bit older that night and working towards the front, so I was really the only one doing the aisles and all that stuff. And I remember I kept going back to the stock room and taking naps. I was really, but in weird places, I would find a little gap between the cooler and something else, and I just kind of curl up and then nod off for 5-10 minutes, and then get up and then go do a little push broom round. But yeah, I don't know why. That was the only thing I could think of, because that was the only place I've ever really worked where there was a back stock room.
Right. Yeah, I can't think of messing with merchandise or anything like that. I know when I worked at an Albertsons in Tucson, and when we were collecting carts, we would get crazy with this kid would bring his truck around, and we would put a cart in front of the truck with somebody in it, and then get it up to
Louise.
And then he'd slam on the brakes, and then the cart goes flying forward. So we're doing that all on the clock. That's a pretty good messing around on the clock. But yeah, those things get moving.
They shoot, and they can lock up quick.
We do a whole stack of them. Yeah, without somebody in it, sometimes you just you would just rev it up as fast as possible, slam on the brakes, and let it slam into something. That was pretty fun. It's some jackass shit.
Yeah, that sounds pretty
good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, big thanks to Donna June for the story
and
again. It's debatable.
True.
I don't know if we should thank her or
trying to express gratitude.
Hey, Well done. Well done. You're the good son. You are the good son, aren't you?
Give a shout out to your mom while you're here.
Mom, big shout out to Mom. That's Jan. Jan and Donna June. Good people.
Folks.
Good people.
Who else we think? Thanks, Jesse.
I want to thank Ryan Lindley and Marquise Morris.
Anymore.
They just make my life entertaining. Just generally, I want to thank people.
Who else? Always thank Deb. She's out of town right now. She'll be back.
Deb will be back. Excited about that. So, yeah, if anybody wants to send us in a story, we love work stories. Love talking about, throwing microwaves off the top shelf.
Go into Target, throw a small appliance, and give us a shout.
Where can you find us, John Derby?
Always at 86charles.com.
86charles.com?
86charles.com.
Nice. And on the Twitter and the Instagram?
I would start at Company Blaster.
You can find us on Pod Directory, on
Stitcher,
iTunes, please. You can review us. You can like us. If you go to 86charles.com, you can also click on the Amazon link and get us a little scratch for the holidays.
Handles and business cards,
and
folks.
You just click through. Doesn't cost you any money. You're just buying the same things you're buying, probably a microwave. Don't go to Walmart to buy a microwave.
Go to Amazon.
Because it's probably
just
damaged.
Click on the banner through
Go to Amazon.
Amazon.com.
Boom. What else you got for America?
America, couldn't be more grateful for you.
That's good gratitude, John Derby. Good gratitude.
The Timberwolves' all-time winningest coach, Saunders led Minnesota to its first ever playoff berth and 8 playoff appearances in total. Flip Saunders also coached the Detroit Pistons and the Washington Wizards, amazing 654 career wins. At this time, we ask that you observe a moment of silence for a beloved member of the NBA family, Flip Saunders. Thank you.
New boy in the neighborhood, he lives downstairs and it's understood. He's there just to take good care